So diving deep into our political maniacs, with the first story of the show, we are talking about the maniac to end all maniacs. This guy is...
He's been a maniac a couple times on the Fowler show.
Serial maniac.
He's notorious.
Okay, Representative Steve King doubled down on Monday on comments he made over the weekend in which he appeared to criticize foreigners and immigrants, drawing complaints of insensitivity on social media and from some of his Hill colleagues, including, wow, Republicans. That's right. He is so offensive, even Republicans are not down with him.
Never get offended because they don't believe in political correctness.
Right, unless it offends them. And
so basically, the story is pretty crazy, right? So basically the tweet was like, you know, we've got to have our babies.
We can't restore our civilization with somebody else's babies.
And then he went on to say in a radio interview that, you know, the minorities, blacks and Latinos, think they're going to take over America, but that's not going to happen. Basically, the blacks and Latinos are actually going to fight against each other, and they're going to kill each other. And
that was his clarification.
Yeah, and then whites will reign supreme, right? When the white reign supreme part, that's the line there, that line, you can highlight it. That's the white supremacy line.
Yeah, when you say like white supremacist, you just highlight the quote, whites will reign
supreme. And I don't know if that's exactly his quote, but that is where he was going.
Yep. So this is problematic. Steve King is someone that obviously we've been talking about. And I think, you know, the Tea Party resurgence made him a bigger deal than he was previously. But the fact of the matter is, when you have someone like Donald Trump sitting in the White House, you give America an excuse to let this guy have a platform.
Absolutely. And I mean, the sad part is you want Steve King to be the outlier.
Right.
Of Congress and the outlier of this president and the outlier of American government. But the truth is that you have individuals in the American government that believe the same thing.
Sure.
People like Steve Bannon, Donald Trump's senior advisor, right? Who literally believes in the alt-right, which is white supremacy, right? They believe that the white race shall reign supreme and, you know, they're being taken out. And it's the same Steve King, he's a maniac. Like, this guy is nuts. You know what I always wonder? And I really wish, if you're one of his constituents, please call us, email us.
Yeah.
Like, I want to figure out how he can win. Like, is his district that insane that he can get away with this crap?
It's a good question. And that is something that always fascinates me about how some of these really nationally known voices, like what they actually do for their people back home. And maybe they're so good to them that they don't care. Like maybe this guy brings home the pork so hard that he can just go and be racist on TV and they're like, great, we have another factory.
Just think about this stuff. This is what he said. I mean, like, it blows your mind. One of the quotes from this radio interview he gives, if you go down the road a few generations or maybe a century with the intermarriage, I'd like to see an America that is just so homogeneous that we look a lot like the same. That's what this guy said.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. The whole idea, Republicans like to couch this kind of casual racism in the idea that, like, we're in a post-racial society, right?
And and part of you says to yourself is like, okay, at which point in time are these white supremacists going to realize that America is not a homogeneous country by any stretch or means of the imagination? America, in its founding, in the founding of the country, was supposed to be a melting pot. Like, Benjamin Franklin and George Washington didn't come from the same place. They ain't cousins.
Right.
Right? Think about our culture. Just think about, if you don't believe me, go to like Uber Eats or go to Grubhub and look at what has become part of American culture. Chinese food. That's not American. We stole it from the Chinese. French fries. We stole it from the French. Hamburgers. We stole it from the Germans. Pizza. We stole it from the Italians.
Yep.
You name it, we stole it.
Right.
Even macaroni and cheese. We stole it.
Even macaroni and cheese. So listen.
There is no such thing as American culture. There is no such thing as American food. Because every American food is rooted in another culture, because what happened...
There is American food. It's Native American food.
Exactly. So to say that we're going to be this homogeneous American culture is a melting pot, dude. That's why we have the Statue of Liberty that sits and it says, bring us your poor, your huddled masses. That's why those people got on a boat in 1617 and came over here from Plymouth, right? Now, on the other hand, us black folks, we were brought here at the bottom of slave ships, unlike Ben Carson liked to say, oh, we didn't immigrate here.
Next
we
he's
were
going to
ripped
say
from our
that
culture.
they were on vacation.
And as my friend Angela Rye likes to say, we built this joint for free. Black people built America for free. But I digress. The ideal behind America, race, like slavery and racism aside, which I really don't think you put aside, but let's put it aside for just a second, right? Is we are a melting pot of different cultures. We don't, like, when you go, and I have the privilege of being all over the world. Like when you go to Mozambique, or you go, like, I love the country, but there's a similarity in the look of the people. Like, there's a few outliers. People sort of look generally the same, right? I would even argue when you go to Switzerland, it's part of Switzerland where you go, you're like, okay, y'all generally, you guys, have the same features. The Nordic countries, there's distinct features. If you go to China, there are distinct features. America is one of the few countries in the world that doesn't have, this is distinctly what an America looks like.
Right. I mean, that's the main point.
Because we're a melting pot. So this argument, this alt-right bull that they like to push, it's so crazy because it's counterintuitive to who we are as Americans. The we the people part. We the people, all different people, all looking differently, come together to form a more perfect union.
No, you're totally right. I mean,
I've had it.
Steve is, why America is so great is because, we are all different people, right? Our strength is our differences.
Thank you.
Like, the reason that all of this currently exists, like, let's just be clear here. The reason everything we enjoy about our country exists today is because of the diverse variety of people, of cultures that have combined together and worked together to make what happens.
And what pisses me off about people like Steve King and these alt-right maniacs who go around and say this crazy crap is they forget why our country's so great. They forget the foundation of America. They forget that Crispus Attucks was a black guy who was the first person to be shot in the American Revolution for freedom. They forget when they have their peanut brittle or their Babe Ruth chocolate bar that their George Washington Carver created peanut butter. They forget all of those pieces that makes America great. They forget that Einstein was a Jew that should have been exterminated by Hitler, but was given an opportunity to come to America, and he made our country better. They forget all these pieces in their white supremacy. Their white supremacy has their head so full of BS, they forget the basics of American culture. The basics.
Drop the mic.
Ooh, these people irk me.